to it and let it touch. You wanna move and let it touch. You cannot lose.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here at We the People, the podcast, formerly known as Dominic Huff Episodes. Here come to you live on Fusion Radio and your local affiliate. Today is Saturday, March 6, 2021. So if you're hearing this show live today, this is a new episode. Some of you all may hear this on demand, on repeat. So I always date the show so you know when this information was out there, because we like to make sure we put the most current information out there at any given time. And you see, I have the laptop right here. So if we have any breaking news you all want to bring it to our attention, definitely let us know. Thank you for listening to our first show last week. Definitely felt good to be back. We're working on our website as we speak, so all the episodes will be over there. You can also check out the stuff that will be here on Fusion Radio and also on the local affiliates. So please stay tuned for that information. Make sure you like us on Facebook at We the People Talk. That's We the People Talk. You'll see a headshot of me on that page with last week's YouTube stream over there. And make sure you like the Fusion Radio channel on YouTube, or subscribe to it. They call it subscribers over there on YouTube, so you can stay in the loop of what's going on. Today is for the people, what people? So we got a House Resolution number 1 we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about some stuff that's going on in Texas. Lots and lots of things happening in Texas, the Lone Star State. And we're going to also talk about social media. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's go ahead and break down the disclaimers of this show. Number 1, we're speaking in general. We don't have all the facts. We don't have all the stats. We don't have all the case studies. We don't have all the reports. So we know not all. Just like you don't have every report, every information out there. The exceptions does not mean the rule. So we know it's not all. So spare us on the not all. Oh, I know somebody like that. That's not me. Yada, yada, yada. Rule number 2, we're not perfect, and neither are you. Sometimes that has to be said a lot. So we're not sitting here on our high horse about how good we are, and we don't want you to get on your high horse. We all have flaws. We all have issues. And lastly, number 3 is we take a position around here. I'm going to tell you where I stand at. I want you to tell me where you stand at. We're not going to ride the sides. We're not going to ride the fence. We're not going to dance around the issue. I want to know where you're coming at, just like I'm going to tell you where I'm coming at when I'm on this microphone. So with those disclaimers, let's have a good show today. So here's something left over from last week from True Info Partners. Americans trust Facebook more than any other popular social media channel, says the Social Media Trust Survey. Now, nearly 1/3 of Americans do not trust social media. Do you trust social media? I'm sure some of you all got all the apps on your phone, what TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Then you got all the niche social medias out there now. Here they got some for women, they got some for men, they got some for the LGBT, some for the blacks, some for the Asians, some for the conservatives, you name it. It's just so many niches out there where everybody feels that they can have their safe spaces and talk that they want to and discuss their issues without all the foolishness going on. But for this research that was by True Info, they're talking about the Big 5. And the Big 5, you may be asking, who are those? Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. I think LinkedIn, I can see why it's number 4, because most people really just don't go on LinkedIn like that. I've seen, and I'm guilty as charged. I finally got the app on my phone, and I'm going to do more with my LinkedIn over there until I clean it up, put some stuff over there, because that's a whole different audience. You know, to me, LinkedIn is more for the professional. That's strictly business topics, industry topics, career stuff, because that's kind of like your digital resume. Because I used to send out my LinkedIn link, and so people could know who more. That was like my virtual resume. So if you don't have LinkedIn, I definitely encourage you to get a LinkedIn page, put the app in your phone, definitely start making some connections over there. And if you do have LinkedIn, clean it up. There's a piece on Dominic Magazine I can share with you. You go to DominicMag.com. That's DominicMag.com. DominicMag.com. If you look at the search option on the website, type in LinkedIn, and we have one of our contributors give you some great advice on how to do stuff with your LinkedIn page. So in fact, I want to make a note to myself to share that on the We the People talk page on Facebook. So we're going to share the LinkedIn article either today or tomorrow so you all can see that. So you all can definitely go ahead and get your LinkedIn pages together because that's going to be mission critical. I'm going to tell you why as we break down this research. This survey finds that 25% of Americans say they trust Facebook the most versus YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. At the same time, more than 30% say they don't trust any of the big five. Now, you may have remembered last fall during the elections, everybody had the whole, all these disclaimers. The AP has called this race. There's no election fraud. All these disclaimers. Anybody that was talking about the election, they put a disclaimer on their stuff because it was a very volatile election, regardless of where you was at on that issue. So they were trying to make sure that everybody had the most quality and the most accurate information. That was the first time I've seen that. I'm also starting to see Facebook more really get down on getting rid of the fake news. There's one thing about to have some tired websites, but now you got people that's pushing things out there that make no sense. You have the Google News aggregates. All these news aggregates now are really getting more stricter on whose content they're really pushing out there. And as a local news publisher, I believe this is good stuff to help people get out there and really get the quality news out there because we're seeing a concept called news deserts now. Now, you may have heard of food deserts, but there are news deserts now. There are communities and demographics that are lacking quality news and information out there. For example, you may live in a suburban city. Do you have a local newspaper that talks about what goes on in your city on a regular basis? Not just when something major goes on, but they kind of keep up with the city council, they kind of keep up with the county commission, or your state legislators, or the local business district, or the schools. Do you have a news outlet that at least you feel that does somewhat of a decent job on that? They may talk about something once a week or twice a week. Ideally you want something twice a week if possible, but I know a lot of these neighborhoods don't have enough for 3-4 days worth of content. So with the big media, they're kind of phasing back, and I'll tell you why they're phasing back. They're phasing back because it's all boils down to that dollar, because they're looking at, okay, do you have the dollars that an advertiser wants to take, and can we convince that advertiser to go ahead and put their ad around this content that touches on that area? So what a lot of the outlets are doing now, they're going to social media, because some of you all own social media. You can say, oh, I ain't on social media like that, I ain't this, I ain't that. If I was looking at your phone, I bet you I'll find the Facebook app, the YouTube app, the LinkedIn app, the Instagram app, the Twitter app, the TikTok app. You got all the apps on your phone, so we're on social media where we go. We're checking in places, and that's good for business. They gotta help market business. You got people that are doing reviews online and things like that. Same thing with Google. If you got Google in your Android, Google will say, hey, we see you're at this place. Check in, give a review and stuff. This is something that helps out the businesses. So people are trying to use social media to build a concept we call social currency. And you may have heard that a lot with social currency. We're dealing with, a lot of millennials and generation, Z now, or Y, where we're on now. I know it's millennials and Z. I think we got Y as well. They're all about, are you online? Can I Google you? Can I find you on social media? They want to see what you're doing, because if you're not there, they feel that you're not doing nothing. Now, the older demographic, not so much. They want to see more hard stuff, more printed stuff, more things that they can touch and feel and what have you. But now, with the digital generation, they pull out these phones now. They want to know, they pull out these laptops. They want to know, are you out there? Are you say who you are? So that's why it's always important to have your social currency, such as if you're trying to do a project, you got social media pages, you got a website, you have an email, not a Gmail. Gmail should be personal unless you're doing project management. I love the Google Drive, the Google Suite, but you should have an email that ties to it. Because we're looking at 30%, we're looking at 25% of Americans say they trust Facebook the most. And I'm looking at this chart. It's followed by YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So if we're going through all of this, that tells me if I'm trying to put information out there, like if I'm a political candidate, if I'm a business, if I'm a journalist, if I'm a blogger, if I'm a commentator, guess what? I have my ass on Facebook. It's business. But we have to make sure that we're putting the content out there that's credible, because we're trying to make sure that we're getting things done. Because if we're not getting things done, then we'll be looking crazy. Then you got YouTube. Now, YouTube, I remember back in the day, I've been on YouTube as a consumer since 2006. I remember when people back then to upload videos, it took a lot of work. You had to really, like, people was taking actual VHS and compressing it, and then they was putting it on the website. Then people who was using those fuzzy wuzzy cameras. I remember the fuzzy wuzzy cameras where you had the camera where it was so fuzzy and you had to have the light just perfect for the content to be coming out right. So YouTube has definitely evolved now. You can go live on there. You can do the super chats. You can have real-time comments. So a lot of people are doing things like what we're doing on YouTube. Now, I listen to YouTube between Sirius XM in my car and YouTube. Those are my radio stations. Now, I don't even listen to mainstream radio. I can't even tell you what the DJs are, what's the #1 song, because I'm doing different other things now. Because we're trying to get that information over there. So, YouTube is #2, followed by Instagram. Now, I suck at Instagram. So, some of you all may be way better on Instagram than I am. So, if you are, definitely holler at your boy. Show me how to work that website. And Twitter, I think Twitter should have been probably #3 if you ask me, because Twitter is real time, and a lot of times if you're not on it all day, that stuff get lost in the sauce unless you're following certain pages and you go to certain pages and what to look for, because it's just like real time, like the where, like, you know, it just irritates based off what's going on in the feed. Things go viral over there. The hashtags came from Twitter, so a lot of things are happening on Twitter to where people are getting it out there. Now, according to Evan Pandeo, the founder and CEO of True Info Partners, a Los Angeles-based strategic communications firm, people have been serving up content to these channels for years while considering its effect. The strength of the breadth and reach of social media outlets have become breeding grounds for misinformation and fake news. Historically, the gatekeepers and distributors of credible information at professional news outlets that employ reporters and editors to uphold the integrity of information. Today, social media companies are the primary gatekeepers, and the general public is publishing millions of pieces of content on a daily basis without a proper checks and balances. Now, I want to give a shout out to Andre Walker from Georgia Unfiltered. You know, he used to run that site. Now he's more of a freelance videographer based here in the Atlanta, Georgia area. And Andre says all the time that journalism is an act. It's not a profession. And what he means by that, he talks a lot about you don't have a journalism license. You don't have a journalism certification. Anybody can go out here and start doing journalism. So when we look at what Mr. Pandeo said from this organization, that feeds into it. You can start a blog right now. You remember back in the day when Facebook had Facebook notes, where people were just putting the notes out there, and it was basically blogs. Then say everybody didn't have a blogger page for a while. And then some of the schools had a little student web page where people just used that for content. So there's a lot of things that folks were doing to get the information out there. But again, it wasn't the filtration system that we once all grew to love. Back in the day, if I want to do what I'm doing right now, sitting here at Fusion Radio, I've had to go to one of the big stations that have a big satellite dish outside the office. You know, you got everybody, their daddy want to have a show. Everybody believe they got talent, and it was a lot of gatekeepers. They had to look at the brand of the station, the feel of the station, who had the most universal appeal. You really couldn't do any niche type shows unless you did it at some ungodly hour, like at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, who was up at 3 o'clock in the morning to see your show? That's when you heard the term brokered radio. So, with here, we have removed the middleman, and that's one thing I love about our generation, folks. We have in essence killed the middleman. The middleman does not exist anymore. But the only middleman that keeps existing is the middleman that we put in our head. If you feel you have content, you have a message that you need to share, there's nobody whose permission you need to ask. That's a great thing. I've seen people blow up off of YouTube, off of Facebook, off of Twitter. I've seen people go to these independent niche websites. I remember back when Live 365 was around. Y'all remember them? Live 365 was all about, you know, that was another alternative to Blog Talk Radio, to where people had stations based over there. Then we have Blog Talk Radio. That's still around. So people was getting around that, and not to mention that people could even do their own internet streams that we used to do when I had exceptionalradio.com. So there is so much that you can do without that, And now we have to make sure that, okay, is this information that we're putting out there, is it quality information? And that's the question that a lot of people are questioning, the validity and the credibility of this stuff. And that falls back on the content creators. We have to make sure, yes, we want to inform the people, we want to communicate to the people, but we have to be accurate. When I sit here at this microphone, or when I'm sitting here writing these articles for those websites, I have to make sure I'm putting out quality and credible information. When I'm writing, I have to make sure there are no typos, there are no grammatical errors, no factual errors, because people are very critical of what you put out there. Say they on this radio show, I just can't get up here and say a whole bunch of stuff that makes no sense and throw things against the wall. As you can see right there, looking at this camera, I'm here with show prep. As I mentioned last week, you got a lot of personalities that don't even come in the studio with show prep. They just come here, sit the microphone, say something about what they saw on their phone, open the phone lines, so and so you're on the air. That's not a radio show. That is more just you wasting time. So this is why I can see why the trust factor is so low when it comes to this content. Because if people don't believe in it, then guess what? They don't think you're uncredible. They don't think you're just out there making a bunch of noise, talking about nothing. And I see it so many times out here, and I just start shaking my head and I start saying, what are you guys doing? Are you guys even serious about what you're doing? Are you guys even out there trying to make sure that you're putting out quality information? Do you care about what you're doing? Are you serious about getting the information out there, or are you just serious about making a bunch of noise? I think a lot of times you're just serious about making a bunch of noise. Because if we're in social media, we distrust. We have to start asking ourselves, why do people not trust it? Now, of course, we have a lot of people that say, well, we're kind of questioning free speech rights. As you know, we talked about with Donald Trump being banned, and a lot of conservatives have been banned over the years from these social media websites. We're starting to ask, are the bans fair? I remember Minister Louis Farrakhan got banned from these social media websites. Because, folks, we have to remember, these are still properly owned websites. Social media, I remember it used to be called the social network. So we're slowly evolving the terms of what we're calling this stuff. So let's look at the wordplay that's going on here. We went from social network, where we came here to network, engage people, and now it's become a place where businesses are at, where journalists are coming to, where politicians are coming to. Just like most governments have a presence on Facebook. Most media outlets have a presence on Facebook. Everybody has, a lot of people, these same people have a presence on Twitter. Now we're seeing people starting to have a presence on Instagram. And then you have the Nextdoor website, nextdoor.com. So when you're seeing all this information, everybody's people have it all at their fingertips, and now people are saying, okay, I'm reading a lot of stuff that's not true. Because I used to say all the time with Journalism 101, your opinion is not the news. You can have your opinion about things. If you want to be a commentator, you want to give your opinion about the topics, then come sit here like in a place like this behind a microphone, and you can say things all day. Yes, we go over news topics on this show, but on this broadcast, this is not a news broadcast. This is not Homeroom News. This is not ATL Main Street. This is We the People, the podcast, formerly known as the Dominic Huff episode. So we are going to give our opinion on this broadcast. We're going to talk about headlines from our point of view. So we're not here to be objective and be balanced. We're here to be factual, truthful, and give you our take on the issues. That's why you're sitting here listening to me every Saturday morning here on Fusion Radio and the local syndicated partners. So let's continue to look at some other things. But I know I'm at 20 past the hour, so that means it's time for our first break. I barely got into this. I just started going off. So you're listening to We the People, the podcast here on Fusion Radio and our local syndicated partners. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have a little music break, and we'll be right back.
says who. Often wonder what makes her work. I guess I'll leave that question to the experts. Assuming that there are some out there, but probably alone, solitaire. I can remember when I caught up with a pastime intimate friend. She said, but you're probably gonna say I look lovely, but you probably don't think nothing of me. She was right though, I can't lie. She's just one of those corners of my mind, and I just put her right back with the rest. That's the way it goes, I guess.
And we're back here on We the People, the podcast on Fusion Radio and your local syndicated partners. It is 24 after the hour, 24 after the hour. Just had a quick music break. And pretty soon, those music breaks will be replaced by commercial breaks. So we are looking for sponsors and advertisers. So if you are interested in working with us, please contact us at office@10thamendmentmedia.com. That's office@10thamendmentmedia.com. 10th is spelled out. And I'll get that information out throughout the show. Our website is coming soon. We got We the People Talk. I think WeThePeopleTalk.com. So we're working on all of that. So we'll be having emails and branding and everything that will go with this, so you can continue to follow us, to see us on Roku, see us on the internet, be able to find us. So that way, if you're unable to catch us live, it's a good thing about internet. You can listen to us anytime. So if you're working on Saturday mornings, or it's a Saturday morning, you want to be out with the friends, family, you got the honey-do list, you just want to sleep in, just don't want to hear no talk, you can hear us anytime you want to. That's why we're here. So last segment, we was talking about some research from True Info Partners. Said Americans trust Facebook more than any other popular social media channel, say the Social Media Trust Survey. So lots of things to talk about with this. So I mean, we're gonna really divulge more into it, because we're just a digital generation now. How many apps do you have in your phone? Tell me, how many apps you got? 10, 20, 30? I mean, I know, like, you got your banking app, you got your app for your favorite restaurant, you got your Uber app, your business owner, you probably got PayPal and Square on your phone. You know, your news truck, you probably got your favorite newspapers, got apps in there now. So there's so many apps out there. And I remember I had a client years ago that I was helping him build an app. Well, actually, back in 2015, 2016, I was meeting a lot of tech clients that were building apps that do business plans for. And one of the facts, and I'm going to look at, I have to research the stat now. This is a 6-year-old stat now. Out of all the apps that are out there, guess how many apps are actually downloaded? Take a guess. 1/3. So 2/3 of most apps that are out there in those app marketplaces are never even used. This is a stat from 6 years ago. So I wonder, has that gone up or down? That's something that's worth looking into. Because it's just so much out there. Everybody has an app for everything. I'm sure Fusion Radio has an app. So I mean, everybody has apps for stuff because apps are the new websites. We went from apps being luxuries to now they're going to be mandates. COVID-19 has definitely made the apps mandates. So when you think about it, like everybody saying now, oh, order food online, order food from our website, order food through our app. And for restaurants that can't build their own apps, they partner with other people such as DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Food to You, or wherever all these apps are out there, to where they can just order the food and go pick it up and have somebody drop it off to their house. So we are a digital generation. We don't get newspapers to our house no more, people. We don't get magazines at our houses no more. Everything is online. Everything's coming to our email. Everybody's doing email newsletters. I'm so old school with this game. I remember we used to call online publications e-zines or e-zines. So to see that this trust factor is that low tells me that we have a long way to go in the credibility department. Because you got so many people that take the social media that put their foolishness out there. Because I see so many people putting crap on social media that they don't even believe themselves. You know, you got these folks like, you know, everybody's a dating expert, everybody's a relationships expert, a marriage expert, cryptocurrency expert, investing expert. You got all these experts out there on social media now, business experts, you name it. Everybody's an expert. I'm an expert, I'm an expert, I'm an expert. Trust me, and I'm talking about all day. Give me money, I can show you how to be rich. Give me money, I can show you how to get laid. Give me money, I can teach you games. Give me. And these folks ain't doing nothing but giving you some gummy advice or stuff they stole from somebody else, and they're trying to pass off as their own. Buyer beware, folks. Buyer beware. Before you just shell out your hard-earned money thinking you're trying to do something, make sure you do your homework and your due diligence about this information, because we have credibility issues out here. And this is making it hard for people who are really trying to build business and empires online. But that what it goes to show is they got their work cut out for them. They got to go out here and make things happen. Like case in point, you know, we shop online now. We do. A lot of you all, I'm sure, during the pandemic last year, though we're still in it, but during the heart of it, I seen Amazon trucks drive through my neighborhood when I was going to and from the office. As you know, being a journalist, we're considered essential. So I've seen people get Amazon packages every day. I wish I had some Amazon stock. I mean, folks were killing them with Amazon. So you're getting Amazon now, like my MCM sandals I got on today. I got those from Saks Fifth Avenue, but I ordered from online. I didn't go to the Saks store. I just ordered from online. Now, the another pair of sandals I got, the Johnsons I had on last week, I saw those online, but I went to go to the store to try them on because they was a little thin or what have you. So sometimes you still may need to go to the store to make sure they fit, so you're not getting a pair of shoes that you can't wear. Because at first I used to be very leery about ordering shoes online, but I said, okay, I can get them now because I can get them in my size, I can get them in the styles that may not be here, and kind of see what's going on with different things. So that is how retailers have built up their credibility. You got Etsy stores now, Shopify. So we have a lot of stuff that's going on and where we're just so consumed with merchants and news and all this stuff. We're just trying to figure out who's legit, who's not. Like, can I call somebody if the shit hit the fan? Can I get my money back if it hits the fan? Now, all the Cash App folks out there, where you at? Raise your hand. How many of y'all got Cash App in your phone? I know you got Cash App in your phone. Somebody probably just Cash App you some money today, or you Cash App them some money. And Cash App, did you know, is a P2P, peer-to-peer, that's what P2P is, peer-to-peer application. So it's supposedly meant for you to send it to friends and families and colleagues and co-workers, like, that make sure you can give them the money on the spot. You remember how, like, you go to a restaurant and you and your friend are eating out and stuff, and you want to just have one check, and the person, well, I'll go to the ATM machine and get you the money. No, I'll go to the ATM machine now. I can just Cash App to you. The money's right there in real time. All right, but now so many people are using Cash Apps for their business, and you should be using Square, because there's no customer service line for Cash App. You have to send a little form to create a ticket. So that's saying that with a lot of this online stuff, nobody has phone numbers, especially these companies are overseas. You got to fill out help desk tickets. Now, that used to be the thing that's for techie folks, help desk tickets. Now that's the whole thing where we're going to now is help desk tickets, which goes to credibility. One thing that people have said, even when I talk about this from a business standpoint with social currency, is it easy to do business with you? Is it easy? If I have a problem, let's say I brought these sandals I have on, I didn't like them, is it easy for me to take the things back? Is it easy for me to get my money back? Or say, hey, I like these things, but I want them in a different size? Or do I have to wait 6 weeks for you to get back to me, and then when I want a refund, you come up with 101 reasons why I can't get my money back? People look at that stuff and determine if you're a credible merchant or not. And one of the things that Square makes you do is I have Square my business. Square asks, what is your refund policy? Square asks, how do you protect yourself from credit card fraud? Do you have policies on the books? They want to see your policies. So this is where we're starting to see who's serious about business and who's serious about being a hustler. That's why how this ties into the social media. 25%, 30% of people say distrust all the outlets. But these numbers of people who trust these folks are low. Facebook is leading with a 25%, YouTube 15%, Instagram 9%, LinkedIn 7%, and Twitter at 5%. And these are not new sites, people. These are not things that just were created last year or earlier this year, maybe 2-3 years ago. Facebook's been out there since 2004. I remember when Facebook was college only. YouTube's been out since 05, 06. LinkedIn came out like the late 2000s. Twitter came out around that time. So yeah, we had new sites since then. These bells and whistles have since been added, like with the Facebook fan pages and things like that. But we have to ask ourselves, what are we doing? Why is the credibility so low? Do you trust what you see on Facebook? Do you trust it on Twitter? Where are you getting your news from? How do you find out information? What about events? Since things are opening back up, I know people probably start wanting to go back out to events again. Some of you are probably going to events now. I know we got the All-Star stuff here in Atlanta. So are you really going out to those projects? What makes things credible for you? What guides your news consumption decisions? What guides your shopping decisions? How do you determine what it is? And for everybody, that will be different. What I'm not saying is that's not making about a uniform definition. Now, there's some things if I was to sit 4 or 5 people here at this desk with me right now where I'm at, and I ask people, tell me about what do you look for when it comes to consuming news off social media or making shopping decisions online. Everybody would have different things, different ways how they may see it, but we will see some overlapping things. And yeah, excuse me, I'm getting some water because my mouth is drying out. So I tell people, you're drinking coffee, you got water, you're trying to keep it going. But let's keep talking about this stuff. But this is not all bleak. 53% of U.S. adults, based off this survey, according to the Pew Research Center's data, this is a whole different set of data. 53% of adults say they get their news from social media often and sometimes. So you got 53% that are getting this information. They're getting the information, but only half find it credible. 30% don't believe it at all. So we got a lot of work we have to do, and that's on all of us. That's not on one in a particular outlet. That's on everybody. So I have to share that out there because we have to think about it. Now let's flip the script for a minute. With the pandemic, there was an article in the Wall Street Journal. I cannot get to it because it's behind a paywall, but you may have saw it. That says Tinder Bumble and Hinge show there is a surge of people looking for love online. Now, back in the day, Tinder used to be the hookup app. Now, I never went over to Tinder. I never had a Tinder account, but I was told that was the account you went to for hookups. So I guess now people are looking for relationships on Tinder. That new Bumble's the new app for where women are in charge, where they make the first move at. And then you got Hinge. That kind of made that's kind of gotten some popularity from Miss Leslie Jones, who said that they thought her account was fake. They called themselves kicking her off of there. She was talking about her love issues on the Wendy Williams show recently. But that's we'll discuss Leslie Jones a whole other day. But think about it. More people are going online. I remember back in the day when you used to date online. Ooh, you must be a freak. Oh, you ain't got no game, and you're corny, and you smell like cheese, and that's what the fat girls do, and that's what the socially awkward guys do. Oh, you got to step up to a person. But guess what? We're busier now. We're more segregated. We're more isolated now. Things now. I know a lot of people are doing teleworking now. Teleworking is a reality for many people, and it's going to probably be a permanent reality because companies are looking at the productivity. And people say, I love going to work in my jeans and my flip-flops and all that type of stuff. I can sit at my desk and do all the virtual stuff. I don't put on suits and things. So, who knows? We will see what's going to end up happening. Though I dress like this every day in my office, like what you see me on right now. So, I tell folks that we have Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge. I'm sure we had OkCupid. I remember Lava Life was out there. I'm not sure if they're still around. Facebook is doing dating now. Then I remember Black Planet tried to get into the dating game. So a lot of people were getting into this because what's happening, and this is just from my observation. I don't have any data or research to back this up. So you may have some information that can be contrary to the point. Now, welcome, Dad. You don't see as many speed dating events no more. When was the last time you saw a speed dating event? And I'm not talking about doing this pandemic, folks. What time gets COVID? Ain't nobody got no speed dating event. I ain't trying to go on a date with the Rona. We ain't talking about the pandemic. I'm talking about pre-March 2020. That's going to 2019, 2018, 2017. When y'all go on to dating events, because I remember some of the YouTubers I heard, like City and Media Network, would say things like, up there in Philly, speed dating events were all but dead. Because you'll see a bunch of women, but the guys wasn't showing up. And I know cases down here, here in Atlanta, there were instances where there were more men than women. There could be a whole bunch of factors, and that's a whole separate conversation. But this is why I believe online dating has finally picked up and became more socially acceptable. You remember the movie back in the 90s, You Got Mail? I met a chick off of AOL, my high school sweetheart. Me and her dated off and on for a couple of years. We just broke up our little relationship. But it was fun while it lasted. There's two different people. We all grow apart. Everybody has different focuses, different views of life. But I think now more people are starting to say, I don't have the people. I really want to meet those people because everybody's unique. Everybody's walking into their identity, into their personality now. And they want to be able to say, I want to meet somebody who's on my level. I want to meet somebody who's like me. You could be into sci-fi. You could be into Oriental cooking. You could be into stamp collecting or flowers or nature and things like that. And online dating now is like you see these people's hobbies and interests before you even make a move to them. Because you want somebody who you're compatible to. You want somebody that you can do things with to where you're on the same page with them. To where if you like going outdoors, but they don't like going outdoors, y'all not going to be compatible. And I think when people are sitting more at home now, they kind of want to have a little more companionship. Even I saw one article in another publication that said people are doing virtual dates now. I kid you not. Virtual dates. I'm serious, folks. Google it. Type in virtual date in a Google search. You'll probably see it out there. And I'm like, so y'all are sitting at home. Y'all each ordering Uber Eats. Y'all are cooking and y'all are sitting there looking at each other on Zoom and eating food together. I just can't get into that. I've done long distance dating before. You know, I mean, that's like another version alone, but we never sat there and watched each other eat and did things like that. We've had long, endless conversations or talked at end on social media or shot emails back and forth. But this virtual dating thing, I'm not sold on that one. I want to act like how folks were acting about online dating back in the day. I think what it is, you know, these platforms such as Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge, and OkCupid, and all the others, you now have the world at your fingertips when it comes to meeting your significant other. That's the wonderful thing about the digital generation. You no longer have to deal with what's in front of you. You can meet somebody across the world, across the state, across the country, down the street, whatever, that you never probably wouldn't have met if it wasn't for these platforms. That's why I tell people to take advantage of these resources. Go back to the name of the show. For the people. What people? Think about this. And with the dating websites, what they're doing, the dating apps, what they're doing, they're customizing it based off what the audience is looking for. Bumble kind of made waves a few years ago about saying we're the app that puts women in charge now. Then you got Plenty of Fish and all of that. You know, now, you know, and we'll talk about this thing with Bumble in Texas in the next segment about, you know, Texas, that was the first state, you know, with the whole dick pics and the pussy pics and all that. Texas is the first state to ban that from being sent in those apps and Facebook and all of that, because I didn't know it was that bad, folks. But we'll be talking more about that. But if you're seeing more people are using the internet to date, that tells you where we're headed at. This is now giving us a chance to really learn about who people are, what people are about, and what people are doing. And you can sit here and meet a ton of people. You know, you can say, you know what, this person's not worth me talking on the phone to. This person's not worth me going out with. I love internet dating. I think it's a great tool and a great resource. It ain't nothing to do about no learning game and all that foolishness. It's a tool, it's a resource that's meant to be used. It's kind of like the way how some of these cats talk about, oh, you just got to learn game. You just got to learn game. I think y'all remind me of people who still talk about, I want to open an AM radio station in 2021. Are you serious? That's how some of y'all sound. It's 16 for the top of the hour, 16 before the top of the hour. You listen to We the People, the podcast, here on Fusion Radio and your syndicated partners. I am Dominic Huff. Don't go anywhere. Let's hear some music and we'll be right back.
He should go, and he said things he hadn't said before, and he was so mad, and I don't think he's coming back, I did too much lying, wasted too much time, now I'm here and crying, I've been around the world and I can't find my baby. I don't know when
We're back. We the People, the podcast. Here we are on Saturday, another Saturday morning. I'm glad that you're here with me. You may be just lying in bed. You may be out and about running your errands, having some breakfast. You know, just in your car, doing your honey-do list, chauffeuring the kids to practice, tutorials, just at work, just chilling. That you're spending it with me here on Saturday, March 6th, 2021, and I appreciate it. The people at Future Radio and our syndicated partners appreciate that as well too. So make sure that you're liking this page at We the People Talk at on Facebook. So we are going to have stuff coming soon. So this is our soft launch right now. So we're trying to get together, get used to being back on the air. So as you can see, I told y'all, I'm a serious personality. See, I got content. I told you before, I'm not like these other people that just come here and just say some things that make zero sense. And before we left, we was talking about online dating. And I was talking to the people here at the studio about that. And he explains that brought up a good point. That we are about the introverts. And I honestly had forgot about the introverts. I was wondering about these Zoom dates and you're eating in front of somebody else and y'all just talking and stuff. I'm like, well, unless they're just not nowhere near you, you don't have, there's a transportation deficit. But he said, you know, a lot of introverts really don't get out the house. This is kind of helping them really start socializing. And I think, no, that really makes sense. And I'm glad to see that people are really getting out there and meeting that. So there's somebody out there for everyone. And I was talking about this on another gentleman's show, excuse me, One Rich. Shout out to him. He's out there in Maryland. One did a late night Facebook Live, and I called it because I was working late in the office on the client project. And he was talking a lot about this dating foolishness and fuckery. And he had mentioned that people are just not being honest. And it goes back to we the people, for the people, what people. So you're out here saying, you know, what's the new term everybody's saying online now about these high value man, and or they call it high value hood man, or whatever they call it now. You know, 6-figure earners. You know, feminine ladies, and wife. You know, I'm a wifey. I'm a boss chick. You know, everybody's coming with all these names to brand themselves now, and yet all this branding, but you're still a bitch. You're still an asshole. You're still a piece of shit. You can call yourself all sorts of things, but until you address the social issues you have, the psychological issues you have, the cultural issues you have, you're just something nice. You're just a piece of shit that's disguised. And you're mad that your significant others that you're seeing are trying to get to know whether it's male or female, see right through it. And you think, oh, well, men are crazy, women are crazy, y'all are broken, y'all are just tired, y'all are weak, y'all are that. But all in all, it's the catfishing. You know, people got filters now. I mean, there's catfish that goes both ways. People get catfish now. You know, you got chicks that are, I saw this app that where you can make yourself look slender and you can lighten your skin up. You can make your hair look fuller. All this, like, you're creating this whole cartoon of yourself. But suppose you're really digging this person and you want to meet them and they say you look nothing like that. And on the flip side with the guys, you got these guys that are talking about, oh, I got 4 cars and I got 6 figures. I got 50 employees. Oh, I'm doing so well. This guy living at home with his mama, riding the bus, don't have no job, no income, got 2 baby mamas. He got a pot belcher. He got a 6-pack. Only 6-pack. He got a 6-pack of beer, or a 6-pack of Cokes, Coca-Cola products in his refrigerator. But he got a 6-pack. Yeah, he does have a 6-pack. He was, but he'll tell you what type of 6-pack it was. Catfishing. And I ain't talking about Captain D's or Long John Silver or Gordon Cedars. But it is so funny how people are doing all of this catfishing. Like, you're never going to, like you're going to ultimately fall for these people, want to meet them. And I see this even when I'm talking to people just in the business space or the male advocacy space. I'm in a lot of spaces on social media, and I can tell who's really not about that life because they don't want to meet up, or they don't really want to talk on the phone. Because see, once you talk to them on the phone or you see them in person, you start to really kind of see who they really are. And once you really see who they really are, you start to see, oh, you don't match what you type. Now, I'm not expecting, though, some people are better writers, some people are better speakers. Now, we're not talking about those people. But we're talking about all the fakes, the phonies, and the frauds, and all these people that you're creating this persona when you come over here. You know, what you see is what you get. This is how the song used to go back in the old school. But so many people now really want to pretend they're doing things in their life. Everybody got big things popping. Everybody got money. Everybody got a car. Everybody got a nice house. Everybody lives in a nice neighborhood. Everybody got money. Everybody got tons of credit cards. They have no balances on it. Everybody got all this stuff going on. But when we ask you to show your work, shout out to Kevin Samuels, all of a sudden he come all the excuses. You know, I don't want to get my identity. So, because I'm so controversial online, I just don't want people to know where I work at or what kind of business I have because they'll boycott me or they'll protest me. Like my business interests, I'm just a silent partner in a lot of companies. I just can't tell you who it is and all this type of stuff. But okay, if you're a silent partner in all these companies, why you got that food stamp card in your wallet? If you're a silent partner in all these companies making all this money, why are you riding the bus? Not because you want to, because you have to. If you know you got all these millionaire men that want you, why are you crying about broke dudes hollering at you? You should be enjoying the millionaire dudes so much. The broke dudes are invisible men now. But what it is, we have so much fraud going on in the dating world, and the internet has allowed this to manifest. Because you can say that you're anything on there. You know, you can talk about that you are into Picasso and Beethoven and concertos, and you can eat with chopsticks, and you can walk on your hands, and you're just so well cultured, and you travel all the time, and you're always on some yacht or some jet, or you know, you got all this money and all this type of stuff. But when we look around, you barely got a bus pass. You know, it's always, or as they always say, my mama lived with me. But it's her house. It's the house you grew up in, but your mama lived with you. Your name ain't on no bill in that house. So, I mean, mama can bitch you out anytime. You say, well, I'm paying bills, though. But it's still her house. And ladies, you know, y'all like to pretend, too. Y'all like to act like you don't have no kids, and all of a sudden, I did tell you I had kids. No, you didn't. You never said you had kids, or you know, y'all love these little head shots and everything, so we don't see your full body, or you put on these wigs and all this makeup and stuff, and we're seeing what some of y'all look like without makeup. Some of y'all are very cute without makeup. Some of y'all like, well. Oh Lord, God help us. It's 3 before the top of the hour. It's 3 before the top of the hour. We're going to go ahead and take our top of the hour break. This is We the People, the podcast. I'm Dominic Huff. Sitting here, keep you informed, educated, and empowered. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
knew you, I wouldn't talk down to you. I have to tell you just how I feel. I will share you with another boy. I know my mind is made up, so put away your makeup. Told you once, I won't tell you again. It's a bad way. Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light. Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light. You don't have to put on the red light. Roxanne, Roxanne,
Top of the hour, top of the hour. Welcome back. We are here on We the People, the podcast, formerly known as the Dominic Hub episodes, here on Saturday, March the 6th, 2021. So, new episode today. So, if you listen to us live, thank you for spending your Saturday morning with us. If you're catching us on a replay, you're catching us on a different time slot, you just listen to us on demand whenever you have time, thank you as well, because your patronage is definitely needed around here. The last hour, we really talked a lot about social media in regards to 30% do not trust social media when it comes to content. Facebook, 25% trust the information on Facebook, and then it goes lower and lower and lower, with Twitter being at the bottom. There's Facebook, it's YouTube, it's Instagram, it's LinkedIn, and it's Twitter. Got a lot of work doing in the credibility department. We talked a lot about dating apps. We're seeing a lot of people really using that now, and the pandemic has really helped bump those numbers up even higher. So we're not dealing with the fact, now the stigma is gone now from online dating. A lot of people are really getting more into that now compared to how it used to be years ago. So, we ask questions about, are you online dating? Are you really getting into it? Then we start talking about some of this dating fraud that's out there. And even though this is not a relationship show, this is a millennial-oriented talk show. That means we give ourselves some liberty to talk about social, political, economic, and cultural issues so that are impacting our cohort. So, we want to make sure it's not all stuffy all the time. So if you want to be able to advertise or sponsor the show, we are looking for you. Please email us at office@10thamendmentmedia.com. That's office@10thamendmentmedia.com. And 10th is spelled out. You can also call me at 404-451-1240. That's 404-451-1240. Ultimately, we're going to see about how we can do live calls and all that if we had that capability here to deal with that, or I may have to just create a burner phone to be able to take those live calls. So, stay tuned. We'll see how we can work around that. Just definitely just had a lot that we got to. I can't believe we got to that first hour. So if you just now joined us, welcome. Thank you for coming in. Eventually, we know when we start really growing the show, we see that some stations will probably pick up the second hour, and then we have a 3-hour show, a 4-hour show. It is getting bigger, and better, and I'm just excited about the growth. It is springtime is on its way. Are you ready to take off those coats, those sweaters, and break out those shorts, those cargo pants, those button-up sandals, your flip-flops? Some of y'all brought some stuff last fall. You've been saying, I can't wait to put it out there. Gas cylinders, I'm getting my pedicure this weekend because I'm showing them toes next weekend and stuff like that. Or you maybe do your own stuff. I know I'm going to be doing a pedicure very soon myself. So, in the meantime, let's just get on to this commentary. Let's talk about now, I mentioned a little bit, this is actually old news, but it's very appropriate for the social media conversation we just got through having. Texas was the first state, and they may be the only state right now when it comes to sending a lewd photo, lewd, L-E-W-D, a crime. Now, we talk about these dick pics, these pussy pics that people are sending out there unsolicited. And Bumble has the technology that can capture when somebody's doing that when it's unsolicited. I guess, like with all these algorithms, all this technology, they can kind of figure out what the conversation says, and you can instantly report it, because a lot of women, and even some men, have complained about this getting unsolicited pics with this lewd breasts, a penis, a vagina, their buttocks, or what have you, stuff that people really do not want to see in a conversation. So I believe if it's not consensual, just like with sex, if it's not consensual, then that's a problem, because it's a two-way street. So, because number one, if somebody asks for that, you got to be willing to send it, and you got to make sure that person is really that type of person for you to start making those type of asks for those items. So Texas definitely was the first state, and I remember the young lady from Bumble worked with them on drafting that law. She is trying to urge other states to follow suit with them. I think that law is a 2018-2019 law that was passed, that was signed by the Texas governor. So as you all know, speaking of Texas and Mississippi and West Virginia, states are saying we're going back to business. We're going full 100%. No more masks. And we're not going to regulate that no more. It's going to be up to the individual businesses and the local jurisdictions to really regulate that. But we are going to put some items out there to make sure that things are done right. But before I get on that, I like to I'm like a DJ. I like to keep all the topics going together. So we'll put that this reopening stuff to the side. So as you see, I'm right here right now. I'm gonna put all that to the side, because there's some policy we're gonna talk about. Me, I'm gonna always have some policy to talk about. So we'll really see what we can get into, and then I definitely want to talk about for the people at House Resolution number 1 that's making this go round. But in the meantime, I tell you, we just have so much to talk about. I tell you, when we get into it, we get into it around here with people. Now here's an article from Relevant.com, and that's RelevantMagazine.com. The plummeting birth rate has experts wondering, why aren't millennials having more babies? Now, I remember this topic. This topic's been coming up off and on over the past couple of years, about that the reproduction rate is not keeping up with the rate of seniors, especially the baby boomers are graying out. They're going to go into retirement. And the way how the system was set up here in the States was always that you would have more younger people who are working, that are paying the taxes that can pay for senior services, paying the Social Security, and then by default, that generation behind them will pay for the next generation, and it continues on and on. But what we're dealing with is, back in the day, we had bigger families. You meet people up in age that may say, I had 5 brothers and sisters, not just 5 combined, but 5 brothers and 5 sisters, like 10 siblings. Or I have 4 siblings, or I have 3 siblings, I have 6 siblings, and what have you. Now you're seeing more cases of only children, or 2 children, maybe 3 at the max, maybe 4. And that's coupled with the high rate of out of birth children, where a lot more children now in the most recorded history are being born out of wedlock. So we have a lot of disjointed families, where we have a high rate of single parent homes. We have a high rate of parenting together, and the kids are going back and forth to houses. The money's not all going to one pot. Mom has their own place, dad has their own place, so there's no group economics. And now you're looking at, because these millennials are stunning into the world, they're trying to figure things out. Think about it. Now that colleges, I remember back when I was in college in the early 2000s, we went from talking about 4-year graduations to now the new 4-year became the new 5-year. They're giving students 5 years to graduate. And I remember that, for the graduation rate cohort, it was 4 to 6 year graduation rates. So of a student, let's say you started in fall 2000, the latest you should be finished college is spring 2006. The count towards that university's graduation rate. That's something here in Georgia. It could be different in other states, but I'm going to speak about my time while I was at Georgia State University with the Student Government Association, when we was on those university senate committees. And I learned a lot of insight into how things worked. So this knowledge is 2005, 2006 ish old. So things may have changed, but it's coming up to me. And with that, you have a lot of kids who are working, putting themselves through school. You have a lot of people that are taking their time trying to figure out what they want to do. You have people trying to figure out, is this major going to help me when I graduate? Or is this a major I'm doing just for self-enrichment? Why am I in college? So a lot of these millennials, Generation Y and Generation Z, are asking themselves lots of questions of what they want to do with their lives. You may be asking yourself what you want to do with your life. You may have a degree right now. You may say, no, I have a degree in business or sociology or psychology, and I just don't know what I really want to do with myself. And you're not alone. So many people ask themselves that question to the point it's unreal. And that's when we had the quarter-life crisis. The quarter-life crisis came from, people like when they got out of college, they're trying to figure out, okay, what's next? I was told to go to school, make good grades, get a good job with good benefits and good hours. But you don't want that. You may be like Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons is like, I want the job where I can dress like how I want to wear to work. Millennials just don't want to wear a suit to sit at a computer and type at a computer all day. Millennials just don't want to come to the offices to sit there and say we're doing something. They like being free. They like being liberated. They like doing things on their own speed. They love freelancing. They love contracting. They love being gig workers. And now the pandemic has made us say, okay, let's really look at how all of this works and where all this fits in at. Because when how it all fits in, we can say, okay, this is how we can start doing it to piece it all together. And that's why we have to really kind of look at what direction are we moving into as a culture. As a millennial culture, to be exact. And that's why I want you to really take a hard look at your life. So don't think because, I'm 28, I'm 30, I'm 34, I haven't had a kid yet. And especially, I'm talking to men for a minute, to all the men that are listening. If we go off the sexual marketplace value, men typically peak between 35 and 50. And that would make sense because men are typically trying to get their careers together. They're trying to figure out what they want to do. Do you want to own a business? Do you want to go work for somebody? Or you want to try to go acquire some resources, some assets? So you're not going to have all of that walking out of college at 22, 23. Unless you came from wealth, unless you came into unless you just really came to some good plays in college and in your high school years, the average person will have a basic apartment, entry-level job. They're trying to figure out where they want to go. And because that has taken longer, and this is for everybody right here, because that has taken longer, people are saying, okay, I will hold off on having children, which I commend people for doing that because you don't want to bring a child into this earth, into this society, and you cannot take care of yourself. You want to make sure that your child had it better than you. You want to make sure that you are able to provide and to care for that child. You want to make sure that child is conceived with somebody who you see can be a good parent with you. Like that man or that woman that you dating, will they make a good parent? Ask yourself that. You may have had sex with somebody last night and we're in the bed with you right now. And that is your business. I don't get in your bedroom, and leadership of the government, especially if it's between two consenting adults. But what I will say is, are you doing it, or is this person a person you can see as a parent, that you can be a parent with? Is this person that you can see yourself spending the rest of your life with? Is this person that you can see yourself building something with? Is this person something that you can really see going the distance with? Be honest. I know you let it touch. I know they looking good over there. They working out and everything, and it was good. You rolled it last night and you did all this type of stuff. But can you see yourself being in a parental relationship with this person? Can you see yourself being in a marriage with this person? And for many millennials, they're like, I'm just horny, but I don't see myself building shit with them. And if that's how you feel, I appreciate and I respect your honesty. Because more honesty needs to be had with these conversations. But see, a lot of people, as I said earlier, they're not being honest because we have so much dating fraud out here. They're trying to blame any and everything except for the man or the woman in the mirror. So this is why millennials are not having children. I ain't even touched this article yet because I've talked about this so much over the years. And even I remember Madame Noir, an article in 2017 by Brand Victorian. And I remember when she talked about this, and then she talked about from the black perspective with black women. And then she said, black women are getting married, black women are having children, but they're doing it later in life because black women are trying to build things for themselves. Black women want to make sure they're established as well, too. So I like looking at things from the women's standpoint because I know I'm not a woman. I'm not trying to be a woman. So I like to see how does this stuff look from their perspectives. So this could line up to how things look for the male perspective. Most men don't want to get into a relationship if they shit ain't together. They just don't. A lot of guys are trying to really figure out what they want to do with themselves. They're trying to really figure out what's the next move. If they want to stay in the currency they're in, they want to get more certifications, they want to go this direction, that direction. And you want to have this conversation when you turn 22, when you turn 25, when you turn 28, definitely when you're 30, then it's 35, 40, 45, 50. Those conversations get tougher and tougher as the time goes on. Trust me on that. Because as it goes on, you would say, okay, what the hell is happening with my life? Where am I going? What am I doing with my life? You will start asking yourself questions like, is having kids something I really want to do? And if you don't see yourself parenting, you don't have to have kids. Do not be guilted into having children you don't want. I'm here to tell you, if nobody else will tell you, it's okay if you don't want children. Excuse me, folks, it's just dry air up in the studio. But, so, no, I ain't got the Rona or nothing like that. So, y'all start getting all excited. Now we're about to deal with pollen now and all that type of stuff. So, we're about to have a pollen season with the pandemic and stuff. So, go figure. But getting back to the issue at hand, millennials are waiting later. I'm glad they're waiting later because a lot of them are right now doing worse than their parents are doing, and there are studies and data that backs this claim up. This is not me pulling shit out my ass. I know a lot of you all be thinking I be pulling shit out my ass. I just be making stuff up. There's a pain, gloom and doom and all this type of stuff. I don't get on this gloom and doom. I like to say it's rosy as well. So we can't sit here and just be negative all the time. We can't sit here and be positive all the time. We have to be centered. We have to be grounded. And we have to look at what's really happening so we can make better decisions and be able to move smarter. That's the end goal, right? Move smarter. And that's why I'm glad that millennials are waiting. And some millennials say, I don't want a marriage. I don't want kids. I want to just chill. And that could be for a lot of reasons. Some of them probably say they saw how bad it was with their parents, their grandparents. Somebody just say, you know what? I'm just a free spirit. I don't want to be tied down. As long as it's something that they can live with, but don't sit here and blame it on, oh, I just couldn't find a good man or a good woman. No, you just wasn't looking for one. That's like saying, I can't find a good job. Why can't you find a good job? Is it where you live? Is it what the city you're in? Is it your industry? Is it your background? Is it your credentials? Is it your talents, your skills, your ability? Is it your work ethic? Is it your attitude? There's lots of things that we can look at when we dig into that toolbox of why you don't have certain things. But to get men or get woman, a lot of y'all are not looking. Some of y'all are hiding in your bedrooms, hiding at work, hiding at the office, and hopefully some good man or good woman will just fall out the sky on your desk, in your bed, in your living room, and say, have a good man, good woman, let's have sex, let's get married, let's build a family. It don't work that way, folks. It does not work that way. Y'all can pretend and keep your head in the sky, put your head in your ass, and act like this happens, but it doesn't. Because the reason why it does not happen is because it just don't. You have to go out there and try and make and make mistakes, make moves. It don't mean you sleep with everybody. It don't mean you make babies with everybody. It's like some people I've dated, I never even kissed. Some people I've dated, they got a hug at best. I've had some jack-offs before. know that jack off the jump off they call it. I did that maybe once or twice in my life. I'm gonna be honest about that. You know, just I saw nothing more than just sex from her. There's some women that saw me nothing more than just sex. It is what it is. But you have so many people out here now that are using things that they cannot relate to, or they know nothing about, or why they're justified why they can't find nobody. Oh, I don't want to get married because I don't want to give that bitch half my money. But all these guys that are saying that, I asked them, what are you doing to change divorce laws? My prediction is what's going to happen, because you got more women making more money than the men now in a lot of these relationships, these marriages, and they have to pay these men alimony and stuff. You want to see women say, oh, hell no, this got to change. I'm not about to give this nigga some money to sit at home. Remember that happened with Mary J. Blige. A couple of professional women, that Halle Berry said something similar. You got a lot of these professional, well-off women that are saying that stuff now. So when it comes to millennials are making fewer babies because millennials are not economically, socially, and psychologically equipped at this time to have children. And I'm glad that they are waiting. That does not mean they're not having sex. That's just not being naive out here, folks. But I'm glad they're being smart about how they move and have children because you want to have them. Have children because you're going to take care of them. Have children because you want to create a legacy. Have these children and be smart about it. We have to get back into family planning. It's 20 past the hour. It's 20 past the hour. You listen to We the People, the podcast. I tell you, I ain't even touched this article I just put off. I'm Dominic Huff, and I'll be back.
Low and I search high, trying to find myself a cutie pie. But destination leads me to a dead end, over and over and over again. They told me to wait, so I waited, anticipated, debated and delayed it, but still came up with the same old thing. Nothing. It seems as if every time I find the right girl, she turned out to be the very wrong girl. Tell me, y'all, when will this madness stop? I want somebody to love me for me. Not because I'm MC and BD. I'm looking for a love that's as solid as a rock. Somebody for me. Now maybe I'll take a trip around the world and find myself a beautiful gorgeous girl. They say when you look, one never finds. They also say that love is blind. It ain't that blind that I can't see. Somebody out there who's perfect for me. Somebody who's gonna love me for me. I know you want love. That's what I'm talking about. A relationship, a commitment, something to live for.
Maybe if you take your time.
Time's been taken and time's been spent. Now it's time for the lover to score.
Somebody for me.
Here we go. We the People, the podcast. I am Dominic Huff, and I almost hit my old show now. I was about to say Dominic Huff episodes. Then, because there's a Mario Touch in the background, think about my old college show, Reception Radio, University of Truth. Some of y'all remember that show. I know y'all remember it. And I tell you, one thing that has been historic with me with radio, the clock just beats me up. Hey, as I said before, y'all see this? Y'all see, I came with stuff to talk about. I do my prep, but you see, when you are a person who's well researched that can come in and conduct the show, you find yourself saying, damn, I can't get some of this stuff. So I want to ask Fusion to give me a box while I keep some of these old articles here so I can just be able to get back to this. So we'll try to see what we can do, because we got again 20 minutes of this segment, then the last segment will be very tiny, so we're going to try to get some things done, but we'll see how it goes. But let's talk about what the article had to say. I'm sure you said, well, what did the article had to say? You gave us a lot of good information, but what did the article have to say? I'll tell you what the article had to say. The U.S. birth rate is currently below what is known the replacement level. The ratio of babies being born compared to aging generations. That's a crisis that University of Southern California professor Darrell Myers recently told CBS, who says generational trends. We need to have enough working age people to carry the load of these seniors who deserve their retirement, deserve all their entitlements, and they want to live out another 30 years. Nobody in the history of the globe has had so many older people to deal with. Now, what some people have was hoping with all of this COVID-19 lockdown, it would give a little shot in the arm to all these COVID babies. So, yeah, pretty much we was looking at probably seeing some new babies come out around January, really November, January, December, and February. So they expect to see some new babies pop out, and the opposite has happened. Because people are not really having babies like that right now. Because as I mentioned before, millennials have so many things that are going on. Now, one thing that everybody loves to say, especially when you look at a lot of these old school mindsets, that there's so many women in the workforce. And one thing is about the women in the workforce, women are doing some big things in the workforce right now. They are starting businesses, they're having careers, they're running companies, they're leading organizations. So a lot of women don't want to be bogged down with what it takes to carry that baby and dealing with that kid for the first couple of years. And you have a lot of guys that feel I'm in the peak of my stride as well. So for many people, you'll probably see a lot of couples without children. I'm going back and forth about that, about what I want to do. I used to say if I do have a child, I may adopt a 5-year-old, rename it after me, and it's go from there and kind of skip over things. But, you know, it just, millennials kind of are enjoying this taste of freedom. And because it's been tough economically for several years and COVID did us no favors, now it's like we're really seeing people really trying to really get together. They're really trying to see what they're going to do. It's like we're seeing so many industries evolve right now. Like, for example, you know, you may see, you know, everybody saying fight for 15, fight for 15, fight for 15, fight for 15. But you're saying that's rushing automation now. Nobody thought about that. COVID has pushed automation on in there. See, it goes back to what we see on the screen. For the people, what people? Who are these people that this is supposed to be for? Can somebody please explain that question to us? And they cannot. Because they know it's a, oh shit, I think we did something that we should not have done. And it has happened before. I remember back in 2000. It's 21 years ago now. Where Kroger, over there in Southwest Atlanta on Metropolitan Parkway, over there by Interstate 85, kind of the south of downtown, you saw self-checkout registers. They had the 4 self-checkout registers. Oh, we get to scan the groceries and stuff. I used to be a cashier in the grocery. I used to work for Kroger, not that Kroger. I used to work for Publix. I used to work for Ingles. So I had a lot of little cashier jobs back in my high school years. And what you saw was self-checkout. That was the filling up self-checkout. Then you started seeing Walmart started doing self-checkout. Now you got Racetrack gas station that has self-checkout. CVS Pharmacy has self-checkout. I don't think Walgreens has it yet. So you're seeing a lot of stores unveiling self-checkout. That means people say, oh, it's taking jobs, oh, it's taking jobs, oh, it's taking jobs. It's shifting jobs. Instead of us having the cashier, we now going to have somebody that has to build that machine. We now going to have somebody who has to service that machine. We're going to have somebody who has to program that machine. Dr. Mike Looney, the current superintendent of Fulton County Schools, that came from Williamson County, Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken, stated that almost 60% of today's 5th graders, hear me when I say this, folks, 60% of today's 5th graders are going to be working in fields that have not been created yet. Did you hear me? I don't think you did. 60% of today's 5th graders will be working in industries that do not exist yet. We are in an economic shift. That's why I said all this for the people. The people are in a shift and nobody knows where we're going. Because we all love technology. We all love convenience. But nobody wants to talk about the trade-offs. Nobody wants to talk about what came with that. We don't. We love, like these introverts love, like, oh, I can go hit the machine, scan my groceries and everything, and I ain't got to talk to nobody. I think even Macy's was doing it when you could use the app to ring your items up, and then they just took the security names out, you showed the receipt on your phone. It's like, you know, it's an introvert's dream. To me, it's an efficient dress. I ain't got time for no cash and just slinging your items across the bill. You speak to them, how you doing? What you want? You know, I love it. But I also know the trade-offs with it. We won't, like, think about it. Uber did not kill the taxi cab industry. The taxi cab industry failed to evolve. Uber, now I ain't got to call a dispatcher. I can just go on my phone, hit a button. The phone can tell you where I'm at. I can adjust where it, and I can tell the phone where I want to go. No human error. Same thing when you're ordering food through these apps. It's minimizing human error. Because when you look at these restaurants, what's the biggest line item in a restaurant? Say it with me. Food costs. So if you say I wanted a gluten-free bun on my burger, but they give you a gluten bun because you got gluten intolerance, and that's yours truly, then they had to throw that entire burger away because I cannot eat it. So now they have wasted the hamburger because they screwed up my order. But if I was able to put that in the machine, I could see gluten-free bun, this, that, third, check all the boxes. So now it is minimal human error. You know, there was a learning curve for the adjustment, but now we have gotten through that, and now we're watching our bottom line, which means there's no need for all the stuff on the phone. Sometimes you got the loud kitchen equipment, then you got a person that may have one of them brick phones they couldn't hear on. So, you know, there's a lot of things that can cause those errors with your order. Same thing even with car repair. Like with my car dealer, the Honda dealership I brought my car from, they send everything in the email. I go to the website, schedule service appointments. It keeps track of everything. Jiffy Lube does that. So a lot of companies are going digital and going remotely now. Amazon, I mentioned that earlier in the show. I mentioned that in the last hour. I see more Amazon trucks in the morning at these gas stations getting gas because they get to go drop all the shit out that y'all keep buying. God, I wish I owned an Amazon stock. I really do. Bezos, you listen to me. Please do a stock split. Please. Do it for your boys. I need a piece of that stock. But then there's another Amazon's JD.com that's coming out there from China. So don't keep an eye on them as well, too. Get you some JD stock. For the record, I'm not a financial guru, not a financial investor, so that was not financial advice. You know, do your own research and control your risk. I always have to say that, you know, when you're giving certain things, like, you know, you have to disclaim when you do health advice, do fitness advice, do financial advice. If you're not an expert, you should not be telling people what to do. I'll just tell you what I do, not tell you should go out there and do it too. But with that being said, it's just like, we have so much happening with the technology these days. Everything's going online. You can pay your bill online now. You can pay your bill on your telephone now. It's like we're really restricting what all we need when it comes to certain items. I was telling one of my colleagues the other day, of all you children, all you school kids out there, all the grade schools, elementary, middle, and high school. I know I used to get a little high school following back in my old college show. I hate to tell you, but slow days are dead. With this remote learning and this infrastructure we got. Oh, when next time it slows down, oh, y'all ass gonna be at home on your laptop. School's still open. Oh, you just learn. School will be in your bedroom tomorrow. You're not gonna be a day watching The Price is Right and Cartoon Network and sitting online all day bullshitting. Oh, we gonna still be learning. Oh, we'll still take. You just take the test when you come back in here, but we gonna go ahead and do some more stuff in class. Snow days are done. They are a thing of the past, and I'm gonna say it right here on the radio. March 6, 2021. I'm calling it as right now. I've called a lot of things that end up coming true. So those snow days are over. Sorry, kids. Today's kids will never know. We used to love them snow days, watching the news. Like, please call Fulton County. Please call Fulton County. Fulton County schools, no schools. Yes. I remember when I went to APS. Please call Atlanta. Please call that. Atlanta schools, no schools. Yes. Don't act like that was just me doing it. You did it too. Don't act like, oh, I love going to school. Oh, I just cried when I couldn't go to school. Bullshit. Now, you can tell that to somebody else, but I know the truth, and you know the truth, too. So that's just not play that little game. But it goes back to the whole thing of the job market is changing. Millennials are looking at different things that are going on. We love all this technology, but this technology is making us rethink everything as we go through stuff. You know, now I'm doing business with people who I never met, who I never even touched. They're in other states, they're in other parts of the world. That's the joys of technology. We have these Zoom meetings now that can bring us all together without us meeting. And we was doing that. Those was in the millennial generation. When y'all cry about, oh, I hate these Zoom meetings. Oh, I hate this, I hate that. Man, I remember we was doing what, Google Hangout meetings, GoTo meetings, and all that stuff. We was doing, millennials, we loved that stuff, man. We can sit here where we at. We ain't got to go places. No, millennials, we all live all out anyway. You got one person living in the north suburb, south suburb, east suburb, west suburb, some in-town, north town, uptown, downtown, south town. So we was all over the place. And we know what, man, fuck it. That's still a virtual meeting. So we was used to it. All the stuff that everybody was going through last year with those virtual meetings, we went through that shit in 2015, 2016. Don't you know, man? Y'all remember we used to have some of those meeting mishaps, people talking the microphone off, or you sitting there with your button-up shirt on, but you got your boxes on afterwards, and some ladies had the little panties on that dog, and she forgot, and they got up to go get something like, whoa. I wasn't expecting us to see that way. So just turn the cam off. Some things that we went through and y'all going through, and all these little old timers like, oh, why y'all laugh? Why y'all? We can laugh because we went through this shit about 5 years before y'all did. We were used to it. So it's like, now when you know you doing something you ain't supposed to be doing, you turn that camera off and them Zoom meetings and stuff. Or you get something Zoom meetings like, turn your camera on. But we're seeing so much going on with this, and this is why we're looking at things. Millennials just cannot get a break as soon as they think they got this figured out. Life throws something else at them. Think about what we dealt with. I am 38 years old. I will be 39 in April. I know I don't look it, but thank you anyway. And we have dealt with September 11th, when we all had to deal with that complex. We have dealt with the 2008 recession. We have dealt with the mortgage fraud crisis. We dealt with the coronavirus. We dealt with the Black Lives Matter. In the past 2 decades, we've gone through a lot of shit. And I'm serious. And it's like, damn. We've gone through more shit as a cohort than I would argue that any other group has ever gone through. Oh, I forgot the Iraq War. We had that back in the early 2000s. We had to deal with the fact that a lot of us are now, as Paul Ryan said, he was the VP nominee in 2012. He said you have a lot of these kids leaving college to go back and go back to their childhood bedrooms. I think a lot of millennials have to go back home for a while. You're not the only one. So we just don't know what's next. And when people say, why aren't we having children? This is it. I didn't have to conduct no research for that. I didn't have to have no panel discussion for that. I didn't have to call a Harvard expert to sit right here to tell me that. I'm living it. You're living it. He's living it. She's living it. Y'all are living it. They're living it. Ask us. We are the generation that we're just a punching bag for everybody. We just don't know where this coming from, where the hits come from, where the next hit come from. Just don't know. But we're still here, and we're writing the rules as we go. We're more casual now. Let's do things our way now. I've seen where people say, no, I want a comfortable environment. Have laptop, have job, have laptop, have business. We're sitting here in the studio at this place. This used to be a warehouse, a mini warehouse that Fusion has turned into a radio station. So you're seeing where things are going. So all is not bad. All is not bleak. We're the revolution. We're revolutionizing. We're modernizing. We're evolving. So we're gonna be taking all the hits and stuff and all the kinks and the generation behind us is gonna be working through it and build off on top of that. So enjoy the ride. It's not over. We got a lot more that's gonna be hitting us. So I'm enjoying it. It's been tough. I ain't gonna say this shit has been easy. I tell you some of the things I've seen. I'm trying to figure out how my business is gonna make it. I ain't got no child right now. I'm trying to figure out where my next meal coming from. I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna be working. I'm trying to figure out, can I afford to live in some of these cities with these artificially high property values, artificially high rents? Hey, you talking about you need to have a child? Fuck you. How about that? I will have a child at my turn. Oh, you don't want to be the oldest dad in the kindergarten class. You up in there with your gray hair and stuff, and all them young buzzers. So guess what? My child be the most well-off child in there. So who you talking to? I'm exercising now, so I'm walking there with these tight shirts on, big muscles every day. Oh, that's your dad? Hey, how old are you? Like, oh, 45, 43, 41. Because I know I'm doing the things I have to do now to get ready for that. It took me a minute to get here. So I'm not saying that I'm perfect, that I got it figured out. I've had things I want to do, but guess what? Life shifts me over there. Life shifts me over here. But I had to ride the wave and adjust the strategies, adjust the plan, stay focused. So please stop beating yourself up because you don't have a damn kid, because you're not married. And I'm so sick of y'all getting on folks, looking at them like there's something wrong with them because they're not married. There are a reason why there is, so you background. Do that again. There is a reason. You know, I can't stand background. There is a reason why this stuff is happening. And we have to look beyond the surface, beyond the talking points, beyond the sound bite of what's going on. For the people, what people? And I still even talk about House Resolution number 1. And I don't think I don't even have time to touch on that today. That's what be another next week, y'all. I see there's so much that, and I told, like I was telling my friend this morning, my friend in the business part, she's like, what you want to talk about? I said, something. I said, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. I just do a lot of prep, and I just let the microphone flow. And I listened back at these shows like, wow, that was some good shit. I wasn't even thinking like that. Where did it come from? Because I make sure that I'm saying the stuff that needs to be here in an entertaining, informative, and empowering way. That's what we do here at We the People Talk. We the People the Podcast. That's just how we roll. That's just how we move. I tell you. So, I know I give you a lot to think about. I really have, and I've done that on purpose. You know, here, I forgot to get the other disclaimer. Bring you a notepad and some paper, because we'll be talking, we'll be thinking, we'll have homework to do. I'm going to get some homework when we get back. So what I'm going to do, I know you probably look at your life right now saying this dude don't depress me and all this type of stuff, all that type. You know, I'm used to hate mail. I'm used to being called names. I'm used to it. I'm a journalist. I'm a community leader. Let's go ahead. It's 13 for the top of the hour, 13 for the top of the hour. So what I'm going to do, I want to give you a 2-song break. So you get your stuff together, really think about what I said. So when we come back, we'll have a very short segment. And then we'll go ahead and call it a day. You got the rest of your day free. We the People, the Podcast. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Why he's gone away and I don't know
We the People, the podcast. The final segment. Can you believe it? We going to another just about 2 hours. Wow. And again, I had to weigh this up in the camera. This pal I did not really touch, but you know, when you're talented, I'm gonna toot my own horn today. When you're talented, you know, you can just really just get onto a segment and just really grind it out and really put the information over there. So, homework time. Yes, homework time. I did not forget. While you listen to CeeLo and all that, I did not forget. We got homework. What is your life plan? What is your goals for your life? I need you to get you a notebook out. I need you to write down and say, okay, what do you want to do for the rest of the year? What do you want to do for the next 3 years? The next 5? Then come up with action steps. Don't just write no goals. Say, I want to get married. I want to go buy a house. I want to go on a vacation. What are the plans to get there? You got to say, okay, you need to fix your credit. Do you need to get in shape? You know, okay, I want to start doing this. I want to start doing it. You got to start connecting the dots. And just take it a little bit at a time. Make the goals SMART goals. And, you know, when I say SMART goals, I'm going to break down what SMART goals are. Because you want to have it to where the goals are, you know, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Be specific. Don't just be all over the place. Say, I want to lose weight. How much weight you want to lose? Oh, I want to save money. How much money? And what time? That way, now you got to come up with a plan. Because we can plan all day. Don't be a serial planner. Don't be a serial dreamer. Be a serial executor. Always get things done. And that's what I want you to do. We talk about this whole thing. So we have to grab this bull by the horns with our lives. We're not getting no younger. So it's time now that you need to look at your resume. You need to look at your CV. You need to look at where you're at with things. You need to pull those credit reports. You need to make that annual checkup. So this is going to be your time that you need to sit down with yourself and say, if you got a significant other, both of y'all should sit down and do this together and come up with that life plan. 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. And how are we going to get there? And the plan is to be specific and unique for your individual needs. Don't worry about trying to keep up with somebody else's. Guess what? This is your journey. This is not their journey. Because when you make sure it's on your journey, you control it much better than somebody else. I enjoyed talking with you today. I really did. If you have any questions you want to talk, email me at office@10thamendmentmedia.com. That's office@10thamendmentmedia.com. 10th is spelled out. Advertising sponsors, you want to talk to your life plan, compliments, complaints, send it all there. We're in the building this. So this is our soft launch. So there's going to be some announcements coming soon. I don't want to tell you what I'm working on in the kitchen. But just keep riding with us. And also, tell some friends about this. Don't be the only person listening to this. Let's get this information out there. Share the YouTube link on your pages, across the social media. Let some people know. Don't be the only one with the good information. Until next Saturday, I'm Dominic Huff. Thank you for listening. I'll talk to you soon.